Alright, and the last thing I want to talk about is the monsters that I can add to my group. I put a lot of time into them and, well, I guess I don't want to forget. So the three main I've got right now are Cloudburst, Goblin, Chieftain, and Lightning. Throughout time I've used Chichu, Yakshini, even Gus for a little while. Anyway, Cloudburst is a caster, quite chaotic as you can see, and I've done some pretty crazy infusions to most of these monsters to make them have some exceptional abilities for the Colosseum, essentially giving them all the necessary stuff to make them even better than what make them better at what they're good at. Goblin Chieftain, basically he's supposed to be a wall of hit points, like a defense shield. Well, I've also made him resistant to a lot of things that enemies can do. And Lightning, of course, one of my favorite characters. The goddess Lightning for Etro. She's special in so much you get a special downloadable content to add on to Final Fantasy 13-2, which allows you to get her. She naturally does over 100k damage in the right situations. She doesn't just do it right out of the box. She's also got vigilance inherently, and enhanced commando means she just does higher damage. And I've also added everything else you can see there. The additional hit points, roll renaissance, basically meaning it increases her attack values when everyone in the same paradigm is the same. I mentioned in the other video like Cerebrus, that gives her plus 30% to strength and magic. Then she got other various abilities which allow her to attack quicker and maintain a stagger bar. Valfodr, my goodness, a lot of work went into him. In order to get him the way he is, I had to do a lot of filter mobs and a lot of different infusions. Very difficult to work with, and I didn't get him until the second last fight of the entire game, meaning I could only really use him in one other fight until I've done everything in this game. Highly overpowered, but a great character. Just can't use him in many places to make the game even reasonable. I just did it because I wanted to do it, no other reason. And Chichu, this was my go-to commando for most of the game. Harry Potter Chichu, I call him. He has a lot of not only resistances, but also many of the things you saw on Lightning Commando. Just a little more rounded, so he does slightly less damage, but wow, he attacks very quickly. He's zippy, I believe the term is. These are the three things that made him shine, particularly these last three here. Essentially, any boss which casted bravery, faith, and vigilance on themselves, this little guy would go in and eat it and give it to himself. Bravery makes you attack harder, faith makes you cast spells better, and vigilance, well, I mentioned it before, basically it enhances your strength, and it keeps you from being knocked over and interrupted. And he just eats them all up. And my last big character, I guess last two, I made this fella. He's a synergist. He helped me with Yami back when I didn't have Goblin Chieftain in my crew. He's basically casts a lot of cool buffs on the crew. Has a lot of well, as you can see, a lot of spells to help. And my last one, my Chocobo Racer. This guy, I didn't really use him in group too much because basically I just designed him to run the Chocobo races. The abilities that you have on him, they don't really help him that much during a fight. However, these abilities translate to positive abilities in racing. So rapid recovery, for instance, is considered a health nut. And when you're a health nut, you typically have positive outlook on all of your races, which gives you a slight advantage during the race. Other abilities it translates to include like Dark Horse, Marathoner, and Sprinter. Just leveling up the way he is, he won 9 out of 10 races fairly easy. The 10th race, he basically went up against the champions, and that's when you need to pay attention and actually put some effort into winning things, because the champions were basically matches of you, and you know, a little more difficult. Anyway, that's most of my big monsters. Had a lot of fun with them.